A family in San Bernardino, California, had a very harrowing and dangerous encounter with Trump's Border Patrol agents. On Saturday, masked agents surrounded a vehicle and demanded that the occupants exit and then show them their papers. That's right. Show me your papers. They, of course, refused because we live in a democracy, not a dictatorship, or at least we're supposed to be in a democracy. And that means having protections against, for example, illegal search and seizure. Literally in the Fourth Amendment, not of course, not that Trump or any of his lackeys actually give a damn, but it's in there. Okay, we're supposed to be constitutional republic, right? Well, that's in there. It's in the Constitution. And what are they doing? Illegal searches and seizures, of course. Now, of course, like a lot of authoritarian fascists, these agents didn't like that answer. And so what did they do? They started smashing windows. I kid you not. They started smashing the windows to try to force themselves into the vehicle and to force these people who have not done anything wrong other than refuse to give the officers, these masked agents, what they wanted, to try to pull them out. Okay? So now, what did the father do? He hit the gas. He's like, F this, I'm out of here. After which, of course, several shots were heard as agents decided to open fire on this vehicle. Local news station KTLA reported that after the father successfully fled the scene, he ended up calling the police and asking for help, saying, masked men had attacked me. They opened fire on my truck. How ironic. This is what happens when you empower the Gestapo. Now, according to a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, the agents did everything right. Yeah, no. Quote, in the course of the incident, the suspect drove his car at the officers and struck them with his vehicle. Because of the subjects forcing a CBP officer to discharge his firearm in self-defense. That is bullshit. Total bullshit. Complete and utter gaslighting, authoritarian garbage. These fascists were busting out windows simply because this family was asserting their constitutional rights against search and seizure, Fourth Amendment. Look it up. Now, the father, who only wished to be identified as Francisco, pointed out that the agents had first refused to identify themselves and had presented no warrant to justify a search of his vehicle. Quote, I had to protect my life and my family. My truck was shot 3 times. 3 times. 3 times. His son-in-law, Martin, added this, quote, it's just upsetting that it happened to us. I am glad my brother is okay. Pop is okay. But it's just not cool that ICE is able to do something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And again, these police officers, these Gestapo were not done. According to KTLA, federal agents later surrounded the family's house that afternoon, demanding that the father come out so that he could be arrested. For what? Nothing. Nothing, because he didn't do anything wrong. He refused. Good. And agents eventually left without detaining him. So this is how you stand up for your rights and actually win. Isn't that amazing? Look, they had absolutely no legal right to detain him whatsoever, to search him, and then to shoot at him. This man was running from armed and masked thugs who accosted him, damaged his property, put him and his family, their lives at risk. And why? Because this man was the wrong skin color. That is all it takes now in this country. He has been racially profiled, just like so many of these people have been. And this is exactly what racists voted for. Stephen Miller gets a chubby every time he thinks about accosting a minority. Okay? That's what's going on. And the worst thing about this is that you had so many Latino voters that voted for this. What? I didn't think they were going to go after me. I didn't think the leopards were going to eat my face. Well, that's what happens. They get racially profiled, and some of them are shocked. They get Pikachu face over this whole thing. In fact, there was George and Esmeralda Doyles. I talked about them already. This is the couple that voted for Trump twice, got racially profiled, and were like, oh my God, how could this have happened? Well, I mean, are you really asking that question? You voted for the mass deportation racist candidate, and you're surprised that he's doing racist mass deportation. Shocker. Now, Doyles told NBC San Diego that the officers had approached their car, just like in the, these other circumstances, right? These other instances, without identifying themselves as law enforcement. They just come up with masks and say, give me your papers, show me your papers, now. You know what the couple said? Quote, criminals do that, robbers and thieves do that, kidnappers do that, and that's what we're seeing by our own government. Yup. And that's it. That's what's happening. This is real, and again, it's what we warned you would happen. It's real, it's happening, and it is having a massive impact. And again, the family here, this family, they're incredibly lucky that no one was killed by this, officer firing indiscriminately into their vehicle. But with the way that the deportations, the scale that is happening, and the fact that they're hiring about 10,000 more agents, by the way, they have relaxed the hiring guidelines. So they're going to hire any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street. And here you go. Here's a gun. Here's a mask. Now go terrorize some immigrants. That's what they're doing. That's what's going on here. Okay. At some point, someone's going to run out of luck. Whether it be someone who was stopped getting shot, or an agent who stopped the wrong person. Something bad is going to happen. And you know what? I'm almost convinced that this is what they want. This is what Trump wants, the regime. Why? So they could justify cracking down even more on immigrants. I hope that I am wrong about that, but I mean, I've been kind of batting 100 on this whole thing, on what would happen if Trump got into power again. Look, this is absolutely horrifying, this story. And it shows you exactly how lawless Trump's border police, his border Gestapo, his brown shirts actually are. So if you haven't been paying attention, well, you might want to start. You might want to start, because this is coming to, well, a city near you. Maybe even to your city, maybe even to your town. It ain't even close to being over. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.